Hey everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 9. Today's topic, Assassin's Creed 3's Connor Kenway and the art of turning cardboard into a main character. Find out about all that and more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
Are we going to introduce ourselves this episode, or are we... What's going to happen? We didn't do it last time, and I feel like we lost the entire audience.
They're all gone.
Do I exist?
But I mean, between that and us potentially killing ourselves last episode. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm bringing it back.
Who is this that's going to kill themselves? Who is this? I don't know these people. I haven't heard their names.
Well,
so
I'm Pat, the Sunshine Kid. Or sometimes boy, apparently.
Oh, we have to introduce ourselves? Come on, Brian. I am Devante, the retro guy,
Yeah.
I think that, you're the retro guy.
Retro guy.
I'm Tom. I edit things here.
You're the tech guy.
Editor.
Didn't you just tell Devante to speak up?
You're right.
The ASMR episode comes out a couple months from now, all right?
This is ASMR.
Let's think the ASMR episode.
Now, audiences, would you rather we did an ASMR episode in ASMR or talk about ASMR without having any, just in our normal obnoxious tones?
It doesn't matter because we're going to do the ASMR episode in ASMR. We're going to be clinking glasses and tapping headphones and whispering in one ear and then
I'm gonna make
ear.
gross mouth sounds and see how many people I can get to just never watch our videos again. I mean, there's not many of you anyway, but come on.
Let's make it a video episode and we'll reach forward and touch their face with a brush.
Let's not go that
thing?
far. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It is.
What?
I don't know how to do that yet.
It's anything to. Well, let's not do an ASMR thing now.
All right, so
Yeah.
and I am Brian. I think my name so far has been Mr. Pause Button, but I don't know if I like it yet or not. We'll see.
That's what it is.
But welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your four favorite hosts, Pat, Joey, Devante, and me, except today there's no Joey, so Tom's here. And we'll discuss a pop culture topic usually related to movies, music, shows, or video games, and we'll do our darnest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course, unrelated witty banter. So sit down, shut up, and open up your ears. It's time to hit pause. Don't actually hit pause. Please talk.
Okay. What do you want us to talk about today, Brian?
Today, before we get into the big topic, we're talking about holiday gifts. We talked about food last time, but food was always just the precursor before you got to the Christmas gifts at the party, right?
You want good gifts, bad gifts?
Let's start off with best and then get into worst.
Best gift I ever got was Kingdom Hearts 1 in 4th grade.
Fair enough.
There's a recording.
Right, you were prepared.
There's a recording my parents have of me opening the gift, and I stand up and just start screaming, "Yes! Yes! Yes! This is what I wanted! Yes!" And we were actually just talking about it the other day at a family party, and my mom was saying that she genuinely doesn't think any gift she's given to myself or my siblings has ever gotten close to that reaction.
That's amazing. I would love to, if I'm ever a parent, I would love to have that satisfaction of got it. That was it. Nailed it.
That was the thing.
Had the one.
Mm-hmm.
For me, also video game. It was actually, it's funny enough, during the family party, we didn't have enough time for gifts. I don't know what happened, but it's way on the north side, so we came back home and then we opened it. And my dad's side of the family had all got together and bought us a GameCube with the 4 Zelda games on the one disc, Zelda 1 and 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. And when I found out I could play Ocarina of Time anytime I wanted, I didn't need to go to Blockbuster. Oh my god. Amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Changed my life.
So mine were probably also video game related.
Hey.
Damn right.
Is when I got that N64 that came with Pokemon Stadium for Christmas.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
They got the little adapter on the back when you could put your Game Boy games into it too.
What color N64?
It was just the black one.
Black one, okay.
But it was black one that came with Pokemon Stadium, and it had the clear attachment that you could put on it. But I couldn't believe that I could play a Game Boy game on the TV.
Yeah.
That was the craziest thing at the time, and I was so excited to do it. I didn't even start Pokemon Stadium. I just immediately put my Pokemon Yellow in the back and started playing it on the TV.
Wait, is the Switch just a glorified version of that?
Basically.
I mean, you can carry it around with you.
Yeah.
That just hit me. It's like just the Game Boy adapter, but turned into a console.
Four circle.
So my best gift was I got my dog, my only dog
Fair
my
enough.
entire life.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
gift. Definitely.
And I still remember that we tried to name him Cookie, but my mom couldn't pronounce it, so she went Kukush, and that was his name.
That's great. That's an adorable name for a dog.
I had no idea that's why that dog was named that way.
That's exactly why. My mom was so Polish that she could not formulate the word cookie.
So, how about best gift you've ever given? So, I gotta tell a story here. One of our friends has this famous quote: "If you always say no, you'll never say yes." It's a stupid, inspirational quote and all that. And at one point in college, I turned it into an inspirational poster with some dolphins leaping out of the sea and all that. We have a white elephant gift party every year, and I got that printed off in a pretty good size. I think it was, like a 1.5 feet by 3 feet or something like that. Had to go pick it up at the Staples, and please don't look at me weird like that. I know this is the stupidest poster ever. And I included the quote and put my friend's birth and guest death date. I think I picked 2080 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I ended up getting that.
It was
me.
very
I took
popular.
it.
Very proud of that. Very proud. What about you guys? Best gift you ever given?
Probably, I know this is going to sound lame, but I got a whiteboard for my mom. And it was we hung it up in front of our stairs at the time. And it was good for just a way of communicating around the house. It was just a well thought out gift.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So mine, I don't usually remember what I give people. So, just the one that pops up off my head was actually, I think last year. It actually involves one of our hosts here. If you don't know, Pat is a big fan of Usopp from One Piece.
Damn right.
So I remember once he was saying he could never find the pop figure for Usopp. So me and my girlfriend went to 4 different stores, 4 different GameStops to find this Usopp, and we finally found it.
Hell yeah.
I got excited for Pat.
I was damn excited when I opened it.
Yeah, I got excited for Pat. I went everywhere, and I was like, why does no one have this? Why is it so hard to find?
And now the big problem is I got to find Trafalgar Law, but they don't make him anymore, so he's $250
Yeah.
on eBay.
Yeah. So that's the one I could most recently think of. That was one of the best gifts I've given.
I don't know if it's the best, but the funniest gift I ever gave was a coloring book of animals that were farting.
Nice. Dope.
Beautiful.
They took that from me.
My aunt once gave my younger brother a children's book called Walter the Farting Dog.
It's amazing. So how about for worst? It could be best worst you've given or received. Either way. If you,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like worst gifts I just never remember.
Can I tell a story about the worst one then?
All right, sure. Just
Go
make
ahead.
it fast.
I'll
We
make it
got to get to
fast.
our main topic before Tom just kills you.
Yeah, okay. So worst gift that I've ever received was at the White Elephant Party last year. I got these mannequin legs from Carson's as they were closing. And you know who you are, friend, that decided to just leave them here. And I got my gift back, and then my other friend Jim decided to take it. Thank God for Jim picking up the slack there. But if you get a gift at White Elephant, you take that gift home with you, all right?
Yeah. Then Jim just took it and threw it away.
Yeah, he did. I had it under my bed for a year. It was under my bed for a whole year. Felt real weird about it, but it was a great gift. Very funny. So, we're talking about the best games of 2019 and the decade. Best video games and all that. So who wants to start off talking about the best games of the year?
2019?
2019.
Okay, I guess I could start. So, I have 2 here that kind of really stood out to me. The first one would be Apex Legends.
Oh, yeah. That was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apex Legends. I think with all the Battle Royale games coming out, like Fortnite, PUBG, I think this one really changed the pace of it. Because you only had 3-person squads compared to 4, compared to what Call of Duty did 4, and Fortnite doing 4, and they changed it up, and every character had certain abilities, which I thought was pretty cool, because it was still the basic, you drop, you gotta find what you get, but at least you have characterized abilities that can help you.
Something with you there.
Yeah, some counterplay to it, not I just dropped in front of a pistol and this guy dropped in front of like the gold level Scar or something like that, and you just lose. But at least this one you have some sort of opportunity to escape and try to find loot elsewhere. So that'd be one of mine for the best of the year. Another one would be Resident Evil 2. It's a remake of Resident Evil 2, obviously. And I felt like that they perfected what Resident Evil felt like with this remake. Because like usually they kind of went back, like with the most recent Resident Evil 7, or not 7, Resident Evil 7.
Biohazard.
Biohazard, and then it was first person, which it was a good game. Still, I played it. I was first skeptical about it because all Resident Evil are either third person or over the top. But this one was really good, and they went back to Resident Evil 2 when it was a third person. It kind of reminded me of 4 almost, when it was like fixed right behind you instead of over the top like the Resident Evil 2 and 1 were back in the day. And it's just a lot of fun, a lot of puzzles. I mean, I love the story behind it. Highly would recommend.
Nice.
Cool.
So mine are Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh yeah.
Played through every one of those storylines in there twice. And let me tell you, those aren't short storylines.
No.
I put an insane amount of hours into that game. Really enjoyed it. I felt like it picked the series back up after I didn't really enjoy Fire Emblem Fates very much.
Yeah, kind of like Lester.
Yeah, but I felt like most of the characters were really fleshed out. Felt like the potential different endings with each house you could choose was compelling. The main antagonist was a compelling antagonist, which Fire Emblem Awakening didn't have that, certainly. So that was great to have. Definitely recommend that game. My next one's another Switch one, Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah,
really enjoyed.
Game.
Really simple but like fun gameplay. Fixed a lot of the gameplay issues that the original one had. Beautiful art style.
Oh, they nailed it.
And fun, simple boss fights. It was just like it was a simple game, but with a lot to it. And the third one is a game I am actually playing right now, but I'm gonna mention as almost an honorable mention is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm considering to be almost like a better Force Unleashed. Like if you're a Jedi that isn't overpowered, and it's been compared to a lot to the like Bloodborne Souls games, very like you have to like really think about what you're going to do in each area or you're going to get your ass killed and have to just repeat until you win. But even when you do die and have to come back, you don't blame the game, you blame yourself, and you can see how you need to improve, which is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Nicely said. So I have not played any games from 2019 other than Apex Legends. So here's my guess as to if I played these games.
You suck.
I know. I really want to play them. So number 3 for the year is Death Stranding, because that game, so many people, that game is just an enigma. From the second it got announced, everyone's like, what the hell is this? Kojima, what are you doing? Like, this is your first time away from Konami and everything. Like, what is that game about? How does he have this budget for these actors and everything? And then when it comes out, it boils down to being a walking simulator. And you're like, what? And it looks so interesting of like you have to like prepare yourself for these journeys and getting like well, am I gonna need the ladder? How much cargo can I carry? Like, should I bring a weapon? And then like the story is apparently like, you know, a lot, as Kojima stuff is, but apparently it's almost like humanity taps into the world of death for energy, and then that leads to a near apocalypse event, and then that's how like those storms are with like the black floating guys and the light that you have on your back and everything. Supposedly it's a metaphor for the internet, because like we don't know how the internet's going to affect us as a culture and everything, and that's just the start of how like they're in their artistic message, and like it spirals out, and only Kojima could. But it just sounds so interesting. I really, really want to play it. I know I'm probably not going to like the gameplay, but I have to try. It just looks so different. Number 2 would be Jedi Fallen Order. I loved Star Wars games as a kid, and seeing them come back, I really enjoyed The Force Awakens and all that, and just being able to be a Jedi. And it looks like EA made a right move for once, so I really have to play that game and get going on that. And then number 1, solely because it looks amazing and it's such a left turn field that no one expected, and it's perfect in every way. Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, I could definitely agree with you. That game looks amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's you're a goose. You cause some hijinks. That's it. Let's just have some fun. Come on, that's so appealing. I gotta try playing that game. I would love to play it. So, and that's my supposed hopeful top 3 games of the year that I will play. And I don't know. I'll report back in like 2024 when I finally played them all. So,
Oh God.
I have a big backlog of games. Big backlog. Speaking of backlog, do you guys want to jump into the decade?
How about we let Tom see his list?
Do you have this?
I don't necessarily have a list, but I'll just mention Borderlands 3. That game is a return to form, and
Is it better than 2?
no, I still think 2 is better, but I do love the reoccurring cast, especially Tiny Tina, or just Tina at this point. Ashley Birch comes back and voices it perfectly. It's like she never left.
I love Ashley Birch. She's great in everything she does.
Yes, she is.
We got some dissenting opinion here.
Oh no, I agree with Tom that 2 is definitely better than 3. I wish I could get into 3 a little bit more. I think the NPCs in 3 are a lot better than the playable characters you have in 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that kind of takes away from the gameplay of it. Like, I'm having a hard time finishing the game, to be honest.
Wow.
Because I get a little bored with the character I'm playing. But everything else in the game is amazing. Like, the NPCs are great.
Did they go like the route of like you're a blank slate and like you just kind of absorb the world around you?
No, so they have personalities, but they're just not as good as the ones from 2.
Okay. Fair enough.
They did my boy Zed dirty. Where is he?
All right.
So which one did you want to do next then?
Why don't we talk about like your favorite mission or level or storyline from the decade?
So this one might surprise you guys. My favorite mission in a game is Titanfall 2's time skip mission, where you have to like go around the level,
Oh,
skipping
yeah.
through time.
I heard a lot of good stuff
So
about that.
clever.
Fuck.
I love
Yes.
Oh, okay, I go next.
Yeah.
I actually have 2. One comes from the Sonic Generations game. This game came out right at the beginning of the decade, like towards the end of 2009. And as much as I don't really care for the song itself, it was the Cityscape stage in Sonic Generations. I really like this one a lot, mainly because everybody knows the lyrics to the song and everybody remembers playing Cityscape. But when they brought it back and when you can play as 3D Sonic and 2D Sonic on the stage, it was just filled with nostalgia. You remember going down in a helicopter. Yeah, so Sonic Generations, you play as 3D Sonic and 2D Sonic on every stage.
That's
so
really
you
cool.
get the 2D version of Cityscape, which I thought was really cool. And then the other best mission, I think, was the mission is called Father Son. It is from GTA 5, and this is when you play as Michael and Franklin. You have to go try to get Michael's son, Jimmy. This is when he's in the boat and the boat.
Oh yeah, I like that.
When
mission.
when the gang members steal the boat and he's still in it. So you're basically just chasing this boat while his son is freaking out that they just stole the boat because he was drunk in the back of it. So you have to follow this basically truck that has the boat on top of it, stay behind it while Franklin is trying to grab Jimmy off the boat. And the dialogue of it is hilarious, and that's when he finds out that his dad's into some shit that he shouldn't be, and it's great. It's probably my favorite mission.
I can not vaguely. I can strongly remember that that mission. Like, this game's gonna be something, man.
Right, and it happens really early on, so that's great.
Tom, you want to go next?
Mine would be from Dishonored 2, the Clockwork's Mansion, which is
Ooh.
basically just, hey, it's a house laden with traps from like kind of a rich guy or a politician. I can't remember necessarily, but it's what I would arguably hope would be a trapped mansion. It's so fucking clever in the way it tries to kill you.
Okay. I really gotta play Dishonored 2. I only ever played the first one.
Dishonored has a ton of clever missions like that in the first those two games, and it's unfortunate we may never get a third one because it deserves as many sequels as it can.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For me, I guess I can't decide between 2. One of them, just because of the story of it, Portal 2, when you're going through like the old section, and J.K. Simmons' recordings are talking about like when life gives you lemons and like the combustible lemons and all that, and it goes into like the story of like your parenthood and all that. And then honestly, I just played it last year. But Celeste, when you get to climb the peak of that mountain, I've never felt more fulfilled in myself as a gamer.
I'm playing through it right now. Don't spoil it.
Okay, it just Yes. It's the whole game.
It makes the whole game like
the whole game is worth it.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. So how about NPCs, which is anybody that like you don't play?
So this is kind of weird because they're essentially in a way the main character of the game, even though you don't play as them.
Yeah.
And you can technically play as them in the DLC. But Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite,
Great choice.
Yeah.
she goes on this whole character journey throughout the game. You watch her, you look over her, you mentor her, you teach her the truth about the world. She goes as this like, I like to compare her at the beginning of the game to Belle from Beauty and the Beast, but by the end she's like gone through hell and back and is trying to, like, she's realized the corruption and how imperfect the world is, and I don't know if that there's any not even a trace of innocence left in her.
I mean, usually when you're like, spoilers, like drowning your new friend or whatever you want to call him with multiple versions of you from different realities, your innocence is basically gone at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
So she's mine.
great choice.
Okay. Again, I have two. Just because a decade is a long time. So my, I guess, number one would be Sans from Undertale. He is pretty popular now. He's kind of like all over the place. He's become kind of a meme. But I really like him because he's kind of like the joy. I don't know if anybody's ever played Undertale, but he's kind of like the joy of the shit that you go through down in this underground world that you play. And I also think, so you can play a passive route when you kind of basically don't kill anybody in the game. But if you go to like the, I forget what the other route's called, but
Genocide.
Genocide, there you go. There's the genocide route. When you kill everything that you come across, Sans' personality completely changes.
Wow.
So like
Yep.
he's like, you just basically came into my world and took everything away from me, and I just love that he has two different personalities depending on which one you go through. And his music, whenever he shows up, it's either Trolly with his normal theme or Megalovania, or
One of the best video game songs
one of the best
I've ever heard.
video game songs of all time because of Sans.
Cool. That's awesome.
Mine would probably be Zelda from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it's the first time she's ever really fleshed out, and those memories that you have to find in order to get a real ending are pretty enjoyable and also cute.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
They're good.
I really need to play
I can't
Breath
wait
of
to
the
see
Wild.
more of her character in Breath of the
like
Wild too.
she's gonna be more prominent in that game. It looks like.
You know,
If she's anything like Elizabeth, that's gonna be awesome.
I really hope they don't just like have her get captured by Ganondorf or
Yeah, I
whatever.
hope not.
Oh,
I hope
yeah.
not.
do the same thing again. This is one that I knew immediately what I wanted to have. Mark Hamill's Joker. From the second he's in Arkham City.
Oh yeah.
When
Arkham Asylum too.
when they did Arkham Asylum he was in, and then when so the first two games are about him. When Arkham Origins comes out, and I'm like, yeah, it's not the Joker, let's get something a little bit different, and it's the Joker anyway. I still didn't care.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's also not Mark Hamill. That's
It's
Troy,
not Mark Hamill?
That's Troy Baker doing his best
Oh.
Mark Hamill. Because Troy Baker could do anything, so
Right, yeah.
they just made him be Mark Hamill Joker, but younger.
But then even in the fourth one, Arkham Knight, they're like, okay, Joker's dead and it's set in the future. Doesn't matter. He comes back in your head and he's still amazing. Just fantastic job. I love the Joker in that. It's so
super
good.
like unsettling whenever he like that's when Joker's at his best, when he isn't like outright going full horror clown and when he's not full like cartoon character, although cartoon character Joker can be nice too.
Yeah.
But when he's just this unsettling menace.
It's my favorite Joker out of any media across the board. So
Nice.
good.
It's because he's essentially the same Joker as Batman the Animated Series and Justice League.
Yeah. It's the one you want, man. So how about character you play yourself?
I'm gonna say Geralt of Rivia from Witcher 3, and Witcher 2, I guess, was this decade as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like he feels like a very fleshed out character as a result of the first two games, and you get to sort of unwrap the layers yourself based on the choices you make in the game and what his values are.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that you almost, no matter what ending you get, it's the same Geralt, but you can kind of add layers to him that you want. And I just really enjoyed about that aspect of the game.
It's interesting how they can walk that line of giving you freedom, but having a character still be somewhat of himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was also mine. So I just like in the last episode, if I got the same as you, I guess I'll go into my next one, which is a really close tie. They're both superheroes. Kevin Conroy's Bruce Wayne, and then Yuri Lowenthal's Peter Parker. They're both so themselves. It just feels like a comic.
Yeah, those two games both really nail their main characters and their what it feels like to be those characters.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just you're Spider-Man swinging around, and you're Batman with every gadget you need, perfectly prepared. But your poison doesn't matter. So good. What about you guys?
All right, so my first one actually is going to be Trevor Phillips from GTA 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had so much fun just playing an asshole?
He's an enigma, man. He's a
not even an asshole, just a lunatic psychopath.
Yes, every single time when you see that you can play as Trevor, you had a new Trevor mission. I get so excited just to see what kind of shenanigans you were gonna get into. Rather it's like beating the shit out of some random dude on the street for no reason, or like seeing him he's basically fucking his like cousin or like cousin's roommate or something like that, like
or torturing people with the FBI,
yeah,
the
like,
FIB or whatever. Like
his personality is just so great in that series because he's just like the oddball out of the other characters you can play.
The other two are so grounded. It's okay that he's just a whack job.
right. And then my other character will probably be Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil. He's from Resident Evil 2 and from Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 a little bit before this decade, but he connects with me because like he's epitome, I think, of Resident Evil right now. Besides Chris Redfield, who kind of like takes over a little bit, but you see Leon, and especially like Resident Evil 6, when you see Leon, Chris, and all of them basically come together, I think it's really great. And especially like with Resident Evil 2 coming back out, introducing Leon again. Now he's cute with all his little bangs that you can move back and forth. And Claire Redfield, I think it's really cool that I can introduce this character because he's, he was at the start of it almost.
Mine would probably be Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2.
He was up there for me too.
He's a fantastic character. He starts out as an asshole, but as life goes on, he kind of learns the error of his ways.
In a way, you could choose to play him as not starting off as an asshole too.
True.
I think he's a little more compelling character arc if he is an asshole at the beginning and you play him as getting better.
Exactly. And I will say, I cried during that game. So
that game made me tear up too.
So
Beautiful storytelling from Rockstar.
Oh, it was a good time.
You gotta give it to them.
Yeah, they create some great main characters because they understand that if you want to get attached to the game, the best way is to get you attached to the main character.
I was in love with him even before the game came out, because when I saw the trailer where he says the line, maybe I'll keep you in black, or maybe I'll keep your mom in black on your behalf, insinuating that he's going to kill whoever he's talking to in order to keep his mother in black.
Yeah.
For the funeral.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll move on to best action game of the decade.
Sure.
Witcher 3. Just continuing. I love fantasy adventure games. I love the sort of, depending on the difficulty mode you're using, the way you have to use your elixirs and be smart about the choice of the special signs that he has, his magics.
All those spells, man.
When to attack, when to defend, when to dodge away. Love it. Yeah, definitely that one for me.
Fair choice. I did not have The Witcher. I had Batman Arkham City. Even though I know Arkham Asylum was the first one, I really attached myself to Arkham City, and I love that game.
I would agree Arkham City's better.
The combat system that they have in that game is my favorite combat system ever. Just the way you push those buttons and you get into a combo and you're just flipping around these 10 dudes with lead pipes and shockers trying to beat you up, and you're just like, nope, this is... When you get into that flow, man, it's so enjoyable. And then when you add in the story of that game, the world that it's in, where it's the city taken over by the prisoners, and I don't know, everything about it I just loved. So
nice. I think mine would probably be Final Fantasy 15. I played that game, I don't know how many hours, and trying to get every single ending that's possible. But I love that game so much. The music, I think, probably won me over even more, because as you're running through every city, the music is just great. I love all the characters, and I personally like the battle sequence. I know most people thought it was gonna be kind of like Kingdom Hearts-esque, when you could just keep pressing buttons and just try to do things. It's kind of a mix of that and the standard RPG. Mm-hmm. And I just love all the characters. Like Noctis, I think is really, it's kind of like the stereotypical you're a prince and you have to take over the throne, you don't want to type story, but the more you play the game, it's like, okay, you think he's like a brat, but the more you play it and you see his character development, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And besides, having Prompto die in you every single fight. Other than that, yeah, I mean, that's probably my best action of the decade.
I played at least a portion of that game. I couldn't get into it too much. I'm not too big into like the JRPGs and all that, but I love the dynamic of the four of them, just like a boy band dynamic of like they're just like a group of buds and they're just hanging out, and it's like, oh yeah, they're also just like fighting monsters at night when they're riding around their convertible. It's so distinctly its own thing.
Yep.
Mine would probably be Lord of the Rings Shadow of War, because it plays like a Batman Arkham game, but it's Lord of the Rings.
Now, why is Shadow of War better than Shadow of Mordor?
Shadow of War is just bigger scale. It surprisingly wraps up, I guess, the two games.
Yeah,
and pretty much it just emphasizes everything that was great about the first one and makes it better.
Okay. Now, I haven't played the first one. Should I play the first one, or should I just go straight to the second?
Considering it only takes 2 games to really finish like this series, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should.
All right. Cool. So moving on from shooter, no, that's the one we want to move on to. So shooter, the best shooter of the decade.
For me, the best shooter was Bioshock Infinite.
We gotta stop doing this, Pat.
Yeah, saw that coming. Mostly because you said to me the other day when I said to you that was mine, that you were gonna also do that one.
It's just too good.
I don't know. Great game, great gameplay. Love being able to swing around using your hook. I love being able to use the vigors to use your crazy powers. I loved creating traps for swarms of crows and blasting people back with water. And that's not to get to the actual part of the game, what makes it a shooter, which is the guns. Holy hell, I loved the hand cannon. That's one of my favorite, most satisfying things. I love being able to shoot the handymen in the heart, like to do a little more damage to them, or the feeling of blowing a character's head off with a shotgun.
Shotgun was real good in that game.
Oh god. Sniper was great in that game too. I loved it.
My only criticism, I think you disagreed with me on this, but I didn't like how they switched from the first 2 games where you had a wheel of weapons to just being only able to carry 2 and you had to decide.
I can somewhat agree with that. I didn't really have a problem with it, but I think it would have been cool to be able to just carry all weapons on me at all times, because there were so many times I wanted to be able to switch between 3 or 4.
Right.
I get the balance thing, but when you start introducing all the different styles of like it, usually you think I need one up close and one far away. But then it's like, here's like the big damage thing, and here's the quiet way to go in. It's just like, I need more options here. But
yeah, just trying to like make it a little bit more tactical.
Yeah. Other than that, fantastic game. How about you guys?
So, my best shooter would probably have been Apex Legends. But I can't go without a shooter without bringing up a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will probably my favorite shooter of all time. Just being able to, because I think that's probably when Xbox Live really kicked off.
Oh yeah.
And got really big. So like just being able to go into the lobby and hear all the kids talking shit before the match. Like there's even memes about it today, like how kids this generation will not survive an Xbox Live chat because of that game.
You see the guy with like 4 prestige levels on the other team, like, well, why are we even doing this?
We just lose. Like I just started the game today and this dude's already 9th prestige. How's that possible?
What was the tiny map? It was in the desert.
Dust, I think, or
whatever that one was.
Oh, yeah.
I remember going there, and then someone would rack up enough kills, the 25 kill streak, to get the nuke and just end the game.
Oh yeah, and that also introduced really crazy kill streaks in that game. Like there would be some points in the game when you just have no fun because you're joining the game, somebody get a attack helicopter, and now you just can't leave the building, or like AC-130, and it's just like it was over the top, and I loved it. And like I know people criticize it because you can do one-man army noob tubes across the map, but like I thought it was fun just because it was the most chaotic Call of Duty.
I always loved Black Ops when we would go to Nuketown.
Man.
It's such a small map that there was always something going on. But I respect your choice.
Yep.
Doom.
Doom.
If you ever wanted to feel like a murdering psychopath without being a murdering psychopath, that is the game for you. You get something called the big fucking gun. It's a big fucking gun, my
I
man.
love the pace of that game. Like it's the exact opposite of like what a lot of people have of like the tactical. Like I'm gonna hide behind this way. Like Doom, you don't stop moving. You jump around and you just shoot everything that moves, and you don't stop.
I mean, there is a little bit of that if you're low on health, but if you're at max, like if you're not running into a room and just screaming and shooting at everything, you're doing it wrong.
Got that industrial metal playing in the background, and you're just like, all right, let's go.
Exactly.
Testosterone, the game. Moving on to the exact, a little bit different, best platformer of the decade, the jumpy games.
Celeste.
Well, Pat.
Yeah, I knew it.
You want to just fuse together and just become the same person?
No, I wouldn't want to live your life. I like my hair.
Oh.
Wow. We're doing the games podcast.
Yes.
Everything was going
You set me up too easily.
Put my hat on now. I'm never going to do video episodes.
You can do it if you keep your hat on.
The funny thing is I have a full set of hair, and Pat just likes to make jokes about it.
Don't lie. In any case, the reason for Celeste is that they put actual emotion into why you're going up this mountain, and it means something when you succeed, and you care about everything. And I usually, like, it's a hard game, and I'm usually not too into getting things too difficult for me. It just stresses me out.
Same here.
But with Celeste, I liked how hard it was. There weren't difficult. I mean, you couldn't choose your difficulty in this game. It was the same difficulty for everybody, but it felt so satisfying every time you succeeded.
Yeah, and the music was perfect. The emotional weight, the like frozen, like, you know, if you're climbing up a mountain kind of feel to it. It got that down so well. I'm not a platformer. Like I borrowed.
No, you're a human.
What? I borrowed 3D Land.
3D Land
from Devante, and I swear I almost broke my DS playing that game. I can't do platformers. I get so mad, but I just pushed through Celeste. I don't know what it was. There's just a magic to that game.
Yeah. So speaking of you borrowing 3D Land from me, one of my best platformer would probably be Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
So like this one, I thought Super Mario Galaxy was probably one of the best games of the Wii, and they came out with a sequel to it. And this time they introduced Yoshi. So like having Yoshi to be able to go around the planets with you, and like basically you still want to collect those sprites, and it felt like just as good as one, but not continue with a sequel. It just felt like this was like, I guess you can say it's a sequel because it's a continuation. But it was just as fun as the first one.
Introducing Yoshi is never a bad thing.
No.
It's an easy, just like, here we go, something good. Like, no one's going to be angry about this. It's just going to make this game objectively better.
Yeah, and it's like, I never not have fun playing that game. Even though, like, there's some points when you're like, you know, you want to throw your Wiimote out of the window. Like, I still had so much fun playing that game, so that'd probably be the best platformer for me.
Would you still say it's always a good thing to introduce Yoshi into a game, like when it's Mario Maker and they have those levels that are just about Yoshi being brutally murdered?
Yeah, you just sacrifice Yoshi.
Oh, don't put
You just
that
let
on.
him fall in lava.
Yeah,
Don't.
that's what Yoshi's for.
Whoa.
He's a tool.
Yeah.
Used and thrown away.
Ow. What do you got, Tom?
I mean, Yoshi, it's the same premise as Jurassic Park. They're all just tools for making money or progressing. But anyway, for me, the best platformer would have to be Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh.
Yeah, it's another good
It's
one.
a damn good one. If you forget to save, or you don't have because you have to gather energy to save in that game.
Oh, no.
I compared it to the Dark Souls of platforms because it fucking sucks sometimes. And I played it on the hardest difficulty to begin with.
Wow, all right. Beautiful game, though.
Beautiful game.
Great artwork. I really have to play Hollow Knight. I hear a lot of people talk about Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight's a good one, too.
I also need to still play that game, and I keep putting it off because other games keep coming out, and I keep pushing it back, man.
I feel like this would be a good one to talk about. We're going to talk about the best online game. So like, you know, it doesn't have to be like just online, but just what game had the best online.
We're going to say the same one again.
What are you going to say, Pat?
Minecraft.
Hey. The moments you get in that game when your friend just falls in a pit of lava after mining hundreds of diamond down there, man. Or you build some houses together, and it's just the memories, man. It's just
Playing around either in survival or creative mode is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Seeing
love
what you
creative.
can build together. You can get in creative mode and create cities like skyscrapers and things like that. Or in survival mode, I have literally gone and just like torn down hills and mountains with just like building pickaxes and shovels over and over again, because I find that relaxing, and then I love to see what I can build on the land in front of my house now that it's all flattened.
Yeah. And then we got into that pixel art you can do on there.
Yeah.
And you get into the Nether, and that's the whole thing. And you just divvy up the duty. We had the whole thing with the community world.
Oh yeah,
we
community world.
We share everything. We've had like 2 or 3 community
Yep.
worlds.
Yeah. Somebody's the farmers, somebody's the miners. It's
Someone's the builder, the architect.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with it.
It reminds me of this one time, most recent, when Pat took the time in our most recent community world to knock down every single tree and like right behind our house, and Jim joins and sees all the saplings and plants all the trees right back.
It's like, you motherfucker.
It took Pat probably at least a couple of hours to get all those trees out.
And I didn't know he was doing it because I was mining. So I came up and I'm like, why are these trees here?
Speaking of trees and Jim, do you remember when you tricked him?
Oh no, that was Glenn that tricked
Glenn
me.
that tricked him.
Yeah, he put a trees don't grow inside, and he had this sapling. He's like, I gotta see if it grows. And then Glenn took down the sapling, put up a hole, a tree, and he's like, guys, it grew inside. We're like, yeah, man, it totally happened. So good. What about you guys? What you got?
Well, first, I just love that Minecraft instance was the first day I joined too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In that Minecraft instance, I totally forgot we were talking about. What?
Best online.
Best online? Okay, it would have to be Guild Wars 2 when that first came out, because they had a mode where it was like 3 factions fight in this one like tiny map for like a domination, like control the area type thing. And it was like hundreds and hundreds of people just throwing themselves at each other like an actual war. It was great.
That's
I
really cool.
love that shit.
Mine would probably, I mean, if you know me, you probably already know what I'm going to say. Mine is probably going to be Smite.
Yeah.
Battleground of the Gods. If you see me on any game on Xbox or if you see me in an Xbox party, it's mainly me playing Smite, probably 99% of the time. I didn't actually think I was going to like this game. We found out found out about it.
Because Glenn and I were hyping it up for a while.
Right, yeah, because you guys saw Rooster Teeth play, and I was like, this game looks stupid. And like when I first played it, I hated it because it was like you had to buy these items, like you had to do 4 different abilities. I was like, this sucks. Like I just want to be able to press A and like kill somebody. But
you can't run, man. There's no run button.
There's no run button. You move as you have to buy boots to move faster.
And it's a game where you have to keep educated if you want to be able to keep up with the meta.
Yep. You have to keep watching it, and I just got into it for one day. It just clicked, and I was hooked on it ever since. And I watched the pro scene. I've been to the World Championships twice, and I'm kind of addicted to it. I need some help. Someone help me.
Take away your Xbox controller.
Yeah, right.
But then you've got it on PC now.
I just play on my computer.
This isn't the podcast. This is just an intervention.
Also, in regards to the Smite World Championships, shout out to Captain Cardboard.
Captain Cardboard.
That's the guy's name? He named himself
that? Yeah. Do you want to tell the story, Tom?
Just briefly, I posted something on Reddit, and a person contacted me that was named Captain Cardboard, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because that moment was that was a thing.
What a name.
That might be a story for a different day.
We'll have a whole episode on it. Moving on, I feel like we could talk about the series of the decade. What game series just had the best 10 years possible?
Bioshock was really good. Did all 3 games come out?
2 and Infinite.
Yeah,
2 and Infinite. Oh, okay, maybe not so much then.
Well, unless you want to count them.
I mean, Bioshock 2 is better than Bioshock 1, but so there's that. Smash Brothers had a great decade.
Smash Bros. Actually had a pretty good decade.
4 was great, and then Ultimate's like, we can do better.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I would probably say the Legend of Zelda series.
Same here.
Oh, yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, they had
did
Spirit Tracks that came out at the beginning of the decade. They had Skyward Sword.
You know what came out in 2011? Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And then Majora's Mask 3D.
Mask, and then Link Between Worlds.
Oh, dude.
Link Between Worlds is great.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Link's Awakening
Yeah,
now.
Link's Awakening. Like, they had a lot.
Then the HD.
Wind Waker and
Wind
Twilight
Waker
Princess.
and Twilight, yeah.
Yeah. And the Triforce Heroes. or
Not
whatever,
to
the
mention
free game that was
a
like,
million amiibo
Oh, yeah.
that are all
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool looking. Like the Legend of Zelda amiibos, I think have the best designs out of all the amiibos, in my opinion.
I want that Wolf Link one. I don't even have a Wii U, but I want the Wolf Link one. You know,
I got it.
Yeah.
it's cool.
Same.
It's cool. Tom, do you have a favorite series?
I'm struggling because I almost want to say Assassin's Creed. I
Assassin's
do.
Creed's got some great stuff.
I do.
They have a lot of high highs and some low lows.
They recovered from 3. They did that.
You know
like,
what? I want to
well,
specify.
Unity might not.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it's like
they fell down
Unity,
after,
yeah.
but like they got up.
I want to specify. I think it's probably the Ezio trilogy within Assassin's Creed.
Brotherhood came out in 2010,
Yeah.
so you're completely entitled to that.
Yeah, so, well, 2 of them did.
And then Black Flag was this year, or not this year. This
Nah,
decade.
it's kind of a while ago.
Yeah, this decade was Black Flag, and that was great.
Black Flag is my favorite.
Syndicate wasn't
Odyssey
bad.
I love
was great.
Brotherhood. Yeah,
Odyssey's
Odyssey's great. I'm looking forward to see what they do next. It's Norse
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah.
Vikings.
Oh,
Yep.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh, I'm so in. I still have to play. I couldn't get into the Origin, so I got to play Odyssey next. All right. One last one before the best game of the decade. Best system of the decade. What system?
Nintendo Switch.
I agree.
Wow. Tom?
No, I still think Xbox.
Which one? 1 or
One.
360?
One.
Wow. I got to say 360. 360 just,
That's fair.
it absorbed so much of,
It definitely, I think, controlled that generation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Everybody
Dude,
had
Halo
360.
3, when Halo
I
3
just-
came out,
Man, Nintendo Switch, the ability to just play all these video games while I'm just laying in bed on a handheld system. And obviously you can go, well, Nintendo DS did that. And like, well, yeah, but Nintendo DS was not as beautiful.
yeah,
Right.
graphics, and the games they have
I
on
can't couldn't switch that over to the TV.
Right.
Can't
yeah.
play Witcher 3 on a DS, you know?
Yeah. Well, some might argue you can't play Witcher 3 on Switch either. Actually, I heard that runs pretty well. It's just
Oh,
not
cool.
quite as good as the normal system.
All right, the time has come. Do you want to do best one game of the decade or best top 3?
For me, I only have one listed, so
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
easy.
Just
Can
put
I-
one down.
Can I guess what that one is, Pat?
I mean, you know me, so if I've said it like 20 times that it's my favorite.
What is it, Pat?
You're the one that wanted to guess.
Is it The Witcher 3?
Correct.
That is also my number one.
The Witch. Is it really?
Yeah.
Come on, Brian.
Man, it
That's
took me forever.
personality.
Maloney had that game for like a year, and so many times I tried to get Brian to play it, and he was like, "I'll get to it eventually. I'll get to it." And now he finally plays it. Yeah, I love that game.
One
so
of the most
much.
beautiful games I've ever
Great
seen.
story, and it's only elevated once I played it, and then I read the books, and it got better once I played it again after reading the books.
The
It's
storytelling, the characters,
Brilliant.
the way you build your character up and learn the different spells and the
and all the stories, and then the DLCs knocking it out of the park
I
too.
still have to play those.
And CD Projekt Red just giving people so much, and giving you the soundtrack, giving you stickers, giving you a thank you note.
What a great developing team.
They gave us Gwent.
Yes.
They
Also,
did come out
Gwent.
with Gwent.
Gwent, a random mini game that should be annoying but is amazing.
I couldn't get into Gwent. I gotta be
Yeah, well,
honest.
you can shut your mouth.
It's I'm not a big card game guy. I sucked at it and I was like, whatever.
Bro, you were never going to be a duel master in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Got him.
I own the right arm of Exodia, you pleb.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it's weak by itself,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
that's
damn weak.
it.
It was like my first pack. Anyway, so since that's I really have to talk about my fourth game, even though it's my fourth game. So number 2 is Minecraft. We're talking enough about Minecraft. Number 3, you have to at least mention Skyrim, right? Like Skyrim.
Hey, remember when we said we'd say the best?
I thought did we say best? I
Yeah.
thought it was top 3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I was only saying one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was only saying one too.
Oh
but,
well,
I mean-
okay.
All right, Brian. What's the fourth?
All right, the fourth is Spider-Man. Like it perfectly captured the feel of those games you used to play as a kid on PS1. Ultimate Spider-Man on PS2. The Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
The Sam Raimi trilogy on GameCube. I had it, but it's just that, but better. It looks great. The swing's perfect. The storylines as Spider-Man as can be, and it blew my mind, that game.
Nice.
Yeah,
So mine would probably be Breath of the Wild.
yeah.
I was really thrown back by this game. It's finally an open world Zelda game. Like you could
The
just do
unthinkable,
whatever
yeah.
the heck you wanted in a Zelda game. So you start off with like no inclination what you have to do. Like Link just wakes up and then you're like, where am I supposed to go? And you can just
Really?
go left and not know
What?
where the hell you're supposed to go.
Oh my god!
Like
I need to
they
switch.
give you like a hint of where you're supposed to go, but you don't have to do that right away.
That's amazing.
Like there's so much to explore. There's so many caves and like little puzzles you can try to figure out. You can try to collect the seeds to get like higher, like a higher inventory and whatever. There's so much to do in that game. And like you can find your specific horse that you want to try to get. Like there's so many opportunities just for not to be so static like the other games where it's like you have to do this or you're just not progressing. Like you can do other things, and I thought it was great. It looked great. The only thing that was kind of lackluster was the soundtrack, but even then it was still a good soundtrack because it was supposed to be more of a peaceful exploring game than kind of like in your face like Ocarina was.
You know the phrase like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Nintendo, it wasn't broken, but they fixed it anyway and made
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah.
It's like we can
Yeah.
keep going. Like it's crazy. My whole list is gonna change once I play that game, man.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom, what do you got?
Not to be a copycat, I've been trying to avoid that this episode, but it is Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Mostly because of some of the combat where you just didn't know what you could do and what you were capable
There's
of.
so many capabilities when you use like the very simple game mechanics, like stopping weapons and not time on weapons and magnetism and explosives, and they all work together for interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it's honestly the best thing in the world. Rolling a boulder down a hill to kill some goblins,
some goblins that just sitting there at a campfire, like,
or an improvised rolling down object, a tree. You could just knock one down and just
man.
I'm just gonna throw this.
Yeah.
I also really like the implementation of weapons being able to break in that game.
That's always a tricky thing of like to nail that. So
Yeah, there's a lot of games where it's not
where
good.
it's just not
But
good,
I feel like them doing that in Breath of the Wild made it so that you used different weapons you never would have planned to.
Right.
Grabbing like the rusty like halberd, or like you could attack with a rake or something.
Yeah. Or just like, your weapon breaks as you're fighting him, a goblin, and then he drops his weapon and you pick it up and kill him with it. I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
There's an item in the game that blows up like a balloon, and you can attach it to bombs and then push it with a leaf towards enemies. Like that is beyond belief that you can do that.
It's creative, man. It's beyond belief.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was my number 2 game. I realized I actually did make a list. I forgot. Number 2 was Breath of the Wild, and number 3 was a tie between Portal 2 and Undertale.
Oh, dude, they're writing a Portal 2. So good. I gotta play Undertale though.
Yeah. Got to switch, man.
Yeah, I really need a Switch.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Probably. There's probably no deals.
You
but
said that
whatever.
every year.
Ah,
I might
he
get a
does.
Switch on
Yeah.
Black Friday every year.
It's gonna be. I gotta get it.
All right.
So, you think it's about time?
I think it's that time.
So, we're halfway done with December. Christmas is coming soon. Next time, you're gonna hear us talk about the best music of the 2019 and of the decade. That's gonna be a fun one. So tell all your friends and your family about us and get our name out there so we can become rich and famous and never have to work a day in our lives. That'd be fantastic.
Please, God, do. I can't keep this up.
Student loans.
Yeah. That's a thing. It's a thing. It's a time.
Not for me.
All right. Well,
Oh, must be nice.
Yeah,
good
chump.
for you. Good for you.
Scholarships.
Tom, what's our next topic?
Our next topic for next week will be, how did Kirby not gain any weight from how many years he's been eating?
Interesting.
See us there.
Yeah, it'd be
It's a
fun to learn.
superpower.
So look us up on Instagram and Twitter. We're at the descriptions there. But until we come back next week,
Now we're going to hit pause.